The Galactic Empire had conquered thousands of worlds, erasing civilizations with cold efficiency. Their doctrine was simple: submit or perish. When they crushed the human colony on Eden's Reach, they thought it was just another primitive backwater, barely worth notice. Imperial ground forces, clad in shimmering ceramite armor, stormed the colony, executing resistance fighters and civilians alike. It was a routine purge. Among the fallen was a child, no older than 10, left to bleed out in the dust. The Imperials didn't know who the child was. They didn't know who the father was. But soon, the stars would tremble. The name they feared to whisper. To the Empire, humanity was weak, a stubborn species with an inflated sense of resilience. Yet, among the shadowed halls of their high command, there were whispers of a name. A nightmare. A myth among warfighters. Baba Yaga. A human assassin. A warrior beyond reason. The man who had single-handedly dismantled entire strike forces, reduced warlords to corpses, and haunted the nightmares of hardened killers. Even among Earth's deadliest, he was feared. He had disappeared years ago, retreating to an isolated life, wanting nothing but peace. His only family was his child, and the Empire had taken that from him. The warpath begins. The first sign of something wrong came when Outpost Vec Tar 7, an entire Imperial garrison, went silent. Imperial intelligence deployed an elite recon unit. When they arrived, they found nothing but bodies. Over 3,000 Imperial soldiers executed with surgical precision. No alarms had been raised. No distress calls. Security footage showed nothing but shadows. A glimpse of something moving, faster than a camera could track. And then, silence. The footage cut to black. A single phrase had been left behind, carved into the commander's desk with a monomolecular blade. "I am coming." Terror in the Empire. World after world fell into silence. Entire legions erased. No bodies. No survivors. Ships vanished, their wrecks later found floating in space. Crews slaughtered to the last being. The Empire deployed their Psi warriors, their elite force of psychic hunters. They tried to track him, but they found nothing. Every precognitive reading ended in static. Every attempt to foresee his actions led to visions of their own deaths. The psychic web of the Empire, vast and intricate, suddenly felt small. They were not hunting him. He was hunting them. The Emperor's nightmare. Within weeks, the name Baba Yaga spread through the Empire like wildfire. Officers deserted their posts. Entire garrisons abandoned their stations. A war machine that had crushed hundreds of species began to falter, not from direct war, but from fear. By the time the Imperial High Command acknowledged the severity of the threat, it was too late. Their fleets burned. Their armies crumbled. Then came Philos, the capital of the Empire, its skyline filled with towering spires of alien energy. It had never been breached in the Empire's long reign. The Emperor himself resided there, surrounded by a million-strong elite guard. And yet, the alarms blared. The defense grid, the impenetrable fortress of the Empire, was failing. Something had slipped through. A lone figure walked through the streets of the capital, untouched. His armor was dark, a specter against the neon glow of the city. His movements were silent, unstoppable. Every defense that tried to stop him failed. The Emperor's personal guards fell one by one, their weapons useless. And then, at the heart of the Imperial Palace, he stood before the Emperor himself. "Who are you?" the Emperor rasped, his voice laced with disbelief.
"What are you?"
The figure removed his helmet. A human.
Scarred.
Eyes dark, hollow, endless.
"A father," he said.
And then he struck. The fall of an empire. That night, the Galactic Empire ceased to exist. Its rulers were erased. Its fleets shattered. Its worlds abandoned. The last transmission from Philos was a single message, broadcast across the void. "You should have let my child live." And then, silence. The nightmare was over. But for those who survived, one truth remained. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not prey. And when you take from them, they take everything in return.